Hello children, I am Smita Dash, your social science teacher. I hope you had a very nice vacation during the Diwali holidays. Today we are starting with our new chapter, chapter number 13, Agriculture in Social Science. Agriculture. Agriculture means cultivation of land. It involves growing crops like rice, wheat, horticulture, animal husbandry, and fishery. It is the main occupation of almost two-thirds of the population in India. Most of the farmers depend on monsoons for a bumper crop. Farmers grow many types of crops. They use better seeds, fertilizers, manures, modern methods of farming, and improved irrigation facilities to increase the agriculture production. Today, India is one of the largest exporters of agricultural produce in the world. The Green Revolution. There have been many changes in the methods of agriculture in India after 1965. Farmers spray pesticides on fruits and vegetables to protect them from pests. There has been an increase in the use of high-yielding varieties of seeds, irrigation facilities, and fertilizers. Larger areas of land were used for cultivation. Farmers were being provided with modern machinery and loans to help them increase the production of crops. This green revolution has helped India become a self-sufficient country. The major crops of India. You can see in the classification how many types of crops are grown in India. Food crops other than grains, horticulture crops, non-fruit crops, fiber crops. And you can see the examples of each category. Types of crops. The crops are cultivated in India can be divided into food crops and cash crops. The food crops are used to feed people. Cash crops are not only used for consumption but also exported and sold in the markets to earn money. Food crops include rice, wheat, millets, maize, pulses, and oilseeds. In the chart given, you can see the different types of crops, food crops and cash crops. Under food crops, you have fine cereals, coarse cereals, pulses. And in the category of cash crops, we have plantation crop, horticultural crops, oil seeds, and other cash crops. Food crops. Rice. It is one of the chief food grains of our country. India is the leading producer of this crop. It is the staple food of the people living in the eastern and the southern parts of our country, India. It is mostly grown in region which receives heavy rainfall. It requires a hot and humid climate to grow. Wheat. It is another important food crop. India is the second largest producer of wheat in the world. The major wheat growing areas are located in the northern part of our country. The states of Uttar Pradesh and Punjab are the largest producers of wheat. It is basically a winter crop in India. The planting of wheat mostly begins in the first week of October and harvesting is done during March to May. Millets. Millets are the coarse grains like jowar, bajra and ragi and have very high nutritional value. They are grown in areas that receive less rainfall. Ragi grows in damp areas, jowar grows in moist areas, and bajra grows in dry areas. Ragi is cultivated in Karnataka and Tamil Nadu. Jowar is cultivated in Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh, Maharashtra, and Madhya Pradesh. Bajra is grown in dry parts of Maharashtra, Gujarat, Rajasthan, and Uttar Pradesh also. India leads the world in production of millets. Maize. It is also known as corn. It is grown in Bihar, Uttar Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, and Karnataka. Pulses or dals such as green gram, moong, red lentils, masoor, black gram, urad, and chickpeas, chana, are grown in several states of India. They have high nutritional value and are very good for health as they are rich in proteins. Cash crops. Oilseeds like mustard, groundnut, linseed, soybean, sunflower, sesame, castor, palm kernels are grown across the country. The oil from these oilseeds is used for cooking. Sugarcane is also an important cash crop for India. It is used in making of sugar and jaggery. Sugar is cultivated on a large scale in Uttar Pradesh, Punjab, Maharashtra, Tamil Nadu, Bihar, and Haryana. Jute is also an important cash crop. India is the second largest producer of jute after Bangladesh in the world. It is a fibrous crop. Bags, ropes, carpets, clothes, mats, and a lot of other things are made from jute. More than half of the production of jute takes place in West Bengal. Jute cultivation requires a hot and wet climate with fertile and loamy soil. The other states where jute is produced are Assam, Odisha, Bihar, and Tripura. Tea is a beverage crop. India is one of the leading producers of tea in the world. Tea grows well in hot and wet climate. It is grown on a large scale in Assam, Nilgiri Hills in the southern part of India, parts of Himachal Pradesh, and West Bengal. Coffee is mostly grown in the southern part of our country. It is cultivated in the states of Karnataka, Kerala, Tamil Nadu. Coffee cultivation is being promoted in tribal regions of Andhra Pradesh, Orissa, and the northeastern states, with the objectives of providing economic boost in these areas. India is one of the most top 10 coffee producers in the world. Spices are grown all over the country. However, Kerala, Karnataka, and Tamil Nadu grow the maximum number of spices. Cloves, cardamom, peppercorn, corn, cinnamon, coriander, chili, garlic, ginger, saffron, turmeric, and vanilla spice form the important part of Indian food. Each spice has its own unique flavor. Cotton. It is mostly grown in the states of Gujarat, Maharashtra, Andhra Pradesh, Punjab, Haryana, and Karnataka. These regions are rich in black soil and perfect for its growth. Rubber is obtained from the rubber plant. Rubber plant grows where the climate is hot and wet. It is used for manufacturing tires. Tubes are also made of rubber. Rubber plantation can be found in Karnataka, Kerala, and Tamil Nadu. The cropping season. The Indian cropping season is classified into two main seasons, Kharif and Rabi, based on the monsoon. The Kharif cropping season is from July to October during the southwest monsoon, and Rabi cropping season is from October to March during the winters. Rabi crops are winter crops and sowing begins in the month of October and November. The harvesting takes place in the month of March and April, whereas Rabi season is cooler and drier than the Kharif season. Wheat, barley, pulses, and some oilseeds are grown during the Rabi season. The Kharif crops are grown during the summer season. The season begins with the onset of monsoon in the month of June-July. The crops grow in the rainy season and harvesting takes place in September and October. Rice, maize, millets, groundnuts, cotton, jute are grown during the Kharif season. You can see the distinction between the Kharif crops and Rabi crops in the following slide. Kharif crops are the crops which are shown in the beginning of the rainy season, example between April and May, whereas Rabi crops are the crops that are sown in the end of monsoon at the beginning of winter season, example between September and October. Kharif crops are known as monsoon crops also, and Rabi crops are also known as winter or spring crops. Kharif crops depend on the rainfall pattern, whereas Rabi crops are not affected by the rainfall. Horticulture. It is the art of garden cultivation. It is done for crops and fruits that are to be sold in the market. It is done for fruits like pineapples, apples, lychees. Flowers like jasmine, marigold, tuberose, and gladiolus. Vegetables like cabbage, potato, and peas. Animal husbandry. Animals like cows, sheep, goat, bullocks, buffaloes, mules, yaks, and camels, which are useful for farmers, are reared. Animal husbandry is also known as livestock rearing. Cows and buffaloes provide us with milk, and their waste is used as manures. Bullocks help in ploughing fields, drawing water from the wells, and pulling carts. Sheep and camel gives us wool. Goods and people are transported in hilly areas with the help of mules and yaks. The cultivation of grapes is called viticulture. The plantation of grapevine, specially for making wine, is done in the vineyard. The cultivation of food, flowers, or flowering plants, specially for ornamental purpose, is called floriculture. Fishery. Fishery is of two types, marine and inland. Marine fishing involves catching of fish from the sea. It is practiced in the states that are along the coastline. Shrimp, sardines, mackerels are caught from the sea, whereas inland fishing involves catching of fish from the rivers, lakes, canals, and ponds. The type of fish caught here are katla, rohu, trout, and freshwater prawns. Children, this is all for this chapter. Please study well. Thank you.